everybody to the first inaugural flagship episode of Role Models. I'm expecting millions of listeners. Just right off the bat, that's what I'm expecting.
We've already got them queued up, ready to go. They're waiting for the episode.
Yeah, they're there. I mean, I've got people outside my window now saying, "When's the app going to drop?" But my name is John Santana, and
I'm Justin Taylor.
Okay. Do you want to start? Do you want to start talking about us?
Yeah, sure.
My favorite subject.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely my favorite subject, talking about myself. So, I mean, when it comes to sort of tabletop role-playing games in general, started quite a long time ago now, actually, thinking about it. It still feels like it was yesterday, in all honesty, but started with a little bit of Pathfinder, and then found my way to 5e, and I've pretty much been there for the most part of my tabletop career now.
Yeah.
I know, obviously, John, you've spent a fair bit of time playing a lot of other things. So
yeah. Well, we're going to kind of go into how we started a bit further down the line.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, again, it's one of these things that, I still consider myself quite new to the hobby. I still...
Oh, absolutely.
But then I kind of look back, and it's been the better part of a decade. Yeah. And it's something that I immediately took to. I was quite reticent to start with, but once I started playing, that was it. Off to the races. And then once I started GMing, that's it. It was no looking back. Mainly play Pathfinder. I'm actually the Pathfinder venture agent for the city that we live in. I run a Pathfinder lodge once a month, but also I've started really delving quite deep into other systems such as Delta Green, the Cypher system, things like that, just to get that extra experience and try other systems that I thoroughly enjoy. So needless to say, this is going to be a tabletop role-playing podcast. We do. Well, thank you for the vote of confidence. And the first question that I think is going to be on everybody's mind is, what the fuck were you thinking?
Well, that's actually a very easy question to answer.
Lots of alcohol.
Funny enough, no. It happened to be at my sister's birthday in 2015, April 2015, where I met you, Justin.
Yes.
And we started talking about magic and things like that, and we touched on role-playing, and you said to me, I'm interested in role-playing, and I went, I have a quest for thee. Bring me some more players, and I shall grant one's request and wish. And you
so I did.
And it all happened.
I mean, to be honest, my recollection of all of that is somewhat hazy. I don't know why.
I can answer that with my previous answer. Alcohol.
At that point, even Justin and I think we'd encountered each other a couple of times.
Yes.
But we weren't like, we had a friend in common.
Yeah, we had like mutual friends, so we'd like bump into each other every once in a while and have like 3-word conversations.
Yeah. And one night I'm out with another friend of ours, and how to say this delicately?
You delicate, please.
I was, please, people don't know me yet. I wanted that to be a very horrific surprise. I was fucking shit-faced. I think that was one of the nights that I was on the Old Rosie, which is a mistake.
Always is.
Yeah, it is a mistake, and along comes Justin with this other gentleman, and the question was, do you want to play Pathfinder? To which my answer was a resounding, of course I fucking do.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, fuck it, why not? Yeah, play, yeah, fucking, yeah. It's like D&D. Yeah, D&D, I've heard of that. That was it. And And that was it. You, I think, the next day got in touch with us and basically gave us access to
Materials.
to where the material, to where we could find the rules on PFSRD and whatnot, and we just started consuming.
Yes,
at quite a feverish
at an alarming rate. Yeah.
I mean, I remember that Scott, when we first started, to our group said, "Okay, so you guys are going to pick something out of this part of the core rulebook," and it was the core classes.
Yes.
Whereas a bit further back in the rulebook, you had what were they called? It was another type. It was another
prestige class.
The prestige classes.
Oh yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. So we're reading through all this, and we'd selected our characters, and we hadn't even rolled a fucking dice yet. And we're going, I'm gonna speak to Scott to see if he'll let me be a samurai.
Which I firmly said no. Let's sit down on the basics and learn the game first.
Which I honestly think was the right move. I was very similar. I mean, I've suffered with insomnia since I was like 13, right? So I would often I've gone through so many hobbies at this point that like when people say to me like, "Oh, what are your hobbies?" I'm like, "How long have you got?" Because I was the same. I would flit through things and I'd get bored after I'd do it for like a month. I'd get really good at it or like to a decent level at something, and then I'd be like, I'm bored now. And this from that first game that we played, I mean, half of my flat right now is dedicated to building terrain pieces. Like I've got foam wire cutters, I've got 3D printers, I've got loads of stuff now that's all dedicated to this hobby. And yeah, aside from gaming, video gaming, it's the only thing that's really stuck around in my life for more than a month.
I mean, I must admit, with what I was doing with Roll20 was phenomenal. I paid for the subscription. I didn't go for the top tier, but I did that $5 tier where it gave you the dynamic lighting. And sitting there, I would literally... how many hours have I lost to Roll20? I will tell you now, and I've not been on there for a while, okay? But since I started... I started off, Tom Parker got me onto Roll20. Okay, that's when he started running his game. I've got 4,632 hours dedicated into Roll20.
So just a few.
I mean, the only thing that beats that is your porn addiction.
See, that's the thing. I die a lot. I die a lot. I mean, you know this, but that's because dice hate. Dice hate me. It's no secret, right? Rolling against me, you'll roll more nat 20s than you've ever rolled in your life. If I'm rolling against you, I'll roll more nat 1s than you've ever seen in your life. And yes, before anyone says, "Oh, you've never seen Will Wheaton roll," I have seen Will Wheaton roll. I make Will Wheaton look like a god. I've put it on the internet now. It's out there. Challenge me. I swear to God.
I don't think that's something anybody wants to win.
It's my only thing. It's all I've got.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Will Wheaton. You've got the next generation. Justin has nothing.
I've got nothing. All right? The only thing I've achieved in my life is that I roll worse than you. Let me have this.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Will. You've got Stand By Me. Poor Justin has got 2 3D printers. So, you and I have got a bit of housekeeping to do, don't we?
Yes.
We have some official business to attend to.
Yes.
And that is because when we came up with the concept, I say concept like we had any of this planned. When we came up with this harebrained idea to talk on the internet for an hour, we went back and forth. We kind of discussed ideas about what we could call it and this and the other, and we eventually landed on the name Role Models, which we both 100% loved, and neither of us went, should we check?
We should look at that.
Yeah, should we check? should we actually check if that's been taken at any point? And no. We just went with it. We rolled with it. Yeah, I hate myself for that. But we just did. We put it out there, and it was somebody in the Obsidian community. Anybody who's part of the Obsidian community knows Josh. He is one of the flag bearers of the entire community. He just kind of posted a screenshot of his podcatcher app, and it's like, yeah, you may want to rethink the name. There's about 7 different podcasts, all relating to tabletop role-playing called role models.
Yes.
So, yeah.
We are not as creative as we thought.
And we didn't think we were creative at all. So imagine how bad we feel.
Right.
And to be honest, I did have a look at some of these other podcasts. They haven't been very active for a while, but the fact of the matter is they have still got content out there. They've still got episodes on these services. And I don't think they want to be associated with the likes of us.
I wouldn't blame them.
No, nor would I. I wouldn't hang out with me. So we decided that instead of having a private meeting, as it were, to come up with a new name, we'd do it here in the podcast, which I'm sure is going to be entertaining listening to all. So what we did is we decided we would come up with a few ideas each, and we'd spitball and see what we came up with. How many have you got?
I'm gonna be honest. I just went through my list and I hate almost all of them. They seemed like a really good idea when I wrote them down, and then I've just gone through them, and there's like it's basically the 2 I sent you are the only 2 that I still like.
Well, I mean, I've got a few. I think
yes,
3, 6, 9, 12, 14. I've got. All right. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't love all of them. In fact, I downright hate some of them. However, there are, they are there to hopefully provide us with some spark of insight, and maybe help land on a name that we both agree upon. However, that being said, I do believe I've got the one.
Oh.
Yeah, this is one.
Well, let's do that one last then.
Yeah, well, that one's going last.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie that when I came up with this, I was at work. And I had to leave the room because I was laughing so much.
Oh, okay, that bodes well.
And I know your sense of humor.
You do.
And I think you are going to love it.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. But that is the last one. That is the one I'm going to kind of go, boom, this is what I think.
I'm going to give you the 3 that I am kind of most happy with.
Okay.
As my contributions, and then we'll go through your 14, because honestly, the others, just no.
So one of us has been doing his homework for the show, while the other one has been making a digital tabletop.
Yes. Hey, I was still making content, all right? Just different kind of content.
It's good to see where your priorities lie.
Yes, my table and my players.
Okay, so yeah, let's hear your 3. Let's do this.
We've got the 2 that I sent you, which was before we decided to do this on the podcast, which was I had 2 guys, 1 dice. Because why not? And of my 3, this next one is my favorite, which is Knights of the Round Tabletop.
Okay.
And then the final one, it goes back to an idea that from when we first started this, one of the names that we kind of went with, which is kind of a play on things, which is D&D with J&J.
Okay, all right. I think there may be something there. Okay, so I'm going to first address the glaring issue that is 2 guys, 1 dice. I'm hoping that not a lot of people remember a particular internet video that was named something quite similar. And honestly, I just can't think of anything else right now.
Exactly.
That's not a good thing.
If it's in my head, which with the way my brain works, you know it is.
Yeah.
It's only fair that it's in yours as well.
No, I do appreciate the sharing.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. So I do appreciate that. I don't really want that to... I don't want to subject that onto my listeners.
Fair.
You know. Okay, so the second one was Knights of the Round Tabletop.
Yeah.
I like that, but I do feel that would be more appropriate if we were doing an actual play.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think as well.
Yeah.
I think it would be a really good name for maybe like a campaign or something.
Yeah, if I don't know, who knows where this is going to take us. Maybe at some point we do actually decide to branch out and do a couple of then Knights of the Round Tabletop is ours, so nobody knows that, okay.
We got dibs.
We got dibs on the Knights of the Round Tabletop, and then the other one, D&D and J&J.
D&D with J&J.
The only issue with that is, I think, where we kind of decided to talk about tabletop role playing as a whole.
Yeah, it's a bit narrow.
We kind of go into that niche of, it's D&D.
Yeah.
So, but they are good suggestions. You want to hear some of mine?
Yes.
All right, so mine, although I've got 14, they are, a lot of them kind of are plays on the same concept.
Okay.
All right. So, like for example, the first one, was the first concept I had was taking the word wisdom and transform it into whiz dump. So you've got all the plays, all the idioms that come from that, like conventional wisdom or words of wisdom. Which, I mean, I don't hate words of wisdom. I don't think I've got any more wisdom-based ones. One that I found hilarious, which I don't think we'll ever use. Actually, two I found hilarious. One was I charisma.
That's pretty good.
I did enjoy that. And the other one was table spanners.
Okay.
As a play of table manners.
Yeah.
For those of you who are outside the UK,
yeah,
you can call somebody a spanner as an insult. So
it's a pretty good insult as well.
It
because
is.
It's like it's offensive enough where they're like, "Wow, how dare you!" But it's not offensive enough they can do anything about it.
Yeah, you're basically calling someone a tool. So
yeah.
All right, so I did enjoy them. Okay, so other ones that I had were making a play on the rhyming sort of relationship between the word souls and roles.
Okay.
So there was a whole bunch of them, like rollmates, which already checked, taken.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah. Immortal roles, gentle roles, lost roles. You get the point.
Yeah.
So they were. I wasn't massively Roll Brothers, but not a massive fan of any of them. I did think Humble Fumble.
Nice. I like that one.
Odd, but again, taken.
Yeah.
All the ones I liked, I checked, except for my favourite one. My favourite is not taken. So there's a bonus.
That's good.
The other one was Double Fumble.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's taken. Then there was a name that I've kind of used for my Discord server, which is Dice Hard.
Yes.
And all the play, like A Good Day to Dice Hard or Dice Hard with a Vengeance, etc., etc.
All of the Die Hard movie titles.
Yeah, basically. So we've gone through all that. One I just threw in there because just to get to 14, I guess. And I hate it, was Fumble Rap.
That's so bad.
I absolutely fucking hate that. I do. But at the same time,
Oh my god.
it makes me laugh every time. All right, so then there was Brit Crit, but I'm not British by birth, so that kind of defeats
Yeah, me
the
neither.
point. Then there was Crit in it, Unfit Crit,
Uh-huh.
and then I think it's onto my favorite.
Okay.
It is onto the one that I've kind of gone through, and every time I look at it, I kind of go, "This has to be it. This has to be the answer that we are searching for." It's not taken.
Is that it? It's not taken.
It's yeah. That's the only requirement. We just don't want anything that's taken.
Yeah, it's not taken.
Well, that is a big part. It's not taken. So,
It's not Liam Neeson.
but also it is a glorious pun.
Always a winner. Always a winner.
Always a winner.
Yeah.
And I just think it fits our brand and our sense of humor perfectly. And I'm actually scared I'm overselling this, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go for this. You're lucky you haven't got me on camera because I'm trying to do this with a straight face, and I'm really struggling.
Failing miserably. Yep.
Okay.
I can hear it. I can hear it in your voice.
Are you ready for this?
I'm as ready as I will ever be.
Okay. Too legit to crit.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. That's it. That's the one.
Isn't that?
That's the one.
I honestly.
That's the one.
And is the first draft of the Orc license. Was released on April the 7th for public comment.
Yes.
So, for those of you who somehow don't know, when Wizards of the Coast did their how to put this delicately,
their thing. We'll just go with the thing.
They did their thing, and they said their thing.
People will know. And the whole community went, no.
Yeah. When Wizards of the Coast, let's just say, showed their true colours, there was a lot of response, there was a lot of backlash, and different sort of entities and companies in this hobby responded in different ways. And Paizo, along with a multitude of different publishers, came out and basically said, you know what? We're going to do our own license. It's going to be essentially what the OGL was meant to be, and it's not going to be owned by anyone. It's going to be irrevocable, and and they actually have produced the sort of first draft of it, which I've gone over, but I don't really kind of speak the right language to understand the nuts and bolts of it.
Yeah, we're not lawyers.
No, and that actually reminds me of a comment I saw on the post, and it was some dude going, "Oh, no, it's too wordy and it's full of legal speak." It's like, well, it's a legal
almost
document,
like it's a legal document. Yeah,
you fucking doorstop.
Funny that. How dare that? How dare that legal document be full of legal technical terms? How dare it?
This holy text is a bit preachy for my liking. Was it Cobalt Press?
Yes.
Big player in this industry.
Yes.
It's done so much third-party content for 5e, third-party content for Pathfinder. Very good
very good
content
stuff.
as well.
Yeah.
Their response to the whole OGL thing was, right, we're going to develop our own system.
Yes.
Which they initially referred to as Project Black Flag. Which, in of itself, great fucking name.
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to spark interest in something, Project Black Flag will definitely get me.
That'll yeah. I'm gonna click
Yeah.
that link. I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah,
click that link.
100%. So they have now given it an official title. And again, these guys naming shit are very good. Tales of the Valiant.
Ooh.
Oh, it does create that response, doesn't it?
Oh,
It's
it
like,
does.
Ooh, I'm intrigued at that. Yeah, Tales of the Valiant. Yeah, I mean, I mean, just for the name alone,
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to be giving that a go.
has already
Yeah.
got me reaching for my wallet.
Yes.
Like, where is it? Where's that card gone? But yeah.
Where did I leave my debit card?
Yeah. I may have hidden it for some reason. I don't know why.
It's like, what is my PayPal login?
But yeah, so just Tales of the Valiant. I mean,
that is a good name.
It's a very good fucking name.
Do you know who we should have got to name the podcast? Them.
Yeah, but I also just wanted to touch on the alignment stuff that you mentioned earlier.
Okay.
So it's something I've actually I've had many discussions about alignment in the past.
Oh, alignment discussions are if you're ever part of any tabletop role playing game online communities and someone brings
if you've never talked about alignment, you are not part of an online community.
Oh, but even better is to just sit back and watch other people talk about it. Because
get the popcorn out.
Because it goes chaotic evil pretty fucking quickly.
Well, my hot take, alignment doesn't matter.
Care to elaborate?
No, I will, yeah. So, I reckon alignment doesn't matter because at the end of the day, right, like you said when you mentioned it earlier, alignment means different things to different people. Right, so you can be a lawful person, like you can be a lawful alignment, right? But that doesn't mean that you follow the law of the city. You could be following the law of your deity, but you're still lawful. And that's why I feel like the alignment chart was a great concept from when it was introduced, but it's evolved so much since then that it's not that anymore. And I think I agree with what Pathfinder are doing by getting rid of it and just saying, what your deity likes and doesn't like, these actions will do you well, these actions won't, is much better because that's the things that I need to know as a player, right? Because I, as a player, I understand the concept of a lawful good paladin and a lawful evil character, right? They're not following the same laws because if you're following the laws of the land, which are generally for the good of the people in the land, right? I say generally, not always, right? Then you can't inherently be evil because you're following laws that are good, right? So that lawful doesn't mean the same thing. But then having that breakdown of, okay, well, I worship this deity, so I base my life on them, and they would reward these behaviors. Well, then that's what your lawful means, is you do those behaviors. And if you don't know the behaviors, because at the moment in D&D anyway, I don't know so much about some of the other systems out there. Those behaviors are kind of open for interpretation because you've just got to kind of look at the lore of the deity and what's written about them in all of the sources that are out there, and say, well, would they think that this is good or would they think that this is bad? And it kind of becomes a judgment call again, and then you've kind of lost the whole purpose anyway. Right?
Yeah. I think you're very, very accurate. Alignment. Oh, right. I've never viewed alignment as a guideline. I've viewed it as an end result.
Yes.
So when someone develops a character and they make them lawful good, or we'll go with chaotic good.
Yes.
So they make a chaotic good character. I've never had that as this is how your character has to behave. I've always seen it as the events that have transpired between you being born
and now,
and this moment in time tell me your past. They tell me what sort of actions you have taken.
Yeah.
And even then, it's a ballpark.
Yeah.
Even then, it's like you're moving along two axes. So, right now, you are considered chaotic good, but that's because of what happened previously. As a character, as a player that's playing a character in my world, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Don't let alignment be a stranglehold. You roleplay however you want. If what you do changes that alignment, then we'll change it.
Yeah, I think as well. Yeah, that's a really good point, because I think too many people, like, they'll write an alignment down in their character sheet and then they kind of make decisions based on that rather than what makes sense.
I mean, the only kind of way that falls apart is when we're dealing with certain mechanics that are tied to alignment.
Yes.
So the prime example is going to be a paladin.
Yeah.
You know, or if we're talking Pathfinder parlance, a champion. They have an alignment and they stick to an alignment, and if they veer from that alignment, they lose their powers, etc., etc. That's why Pathfinder Second Edition were a bit more in depth, where it's okay. So you are a follower of Ragathiel, who is a lawful good god of vengeance.
Yeah.
So your version of lawful good is going to differ from the lawful goodness of Saran Wrap.
Yeah.
Who,
thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, I had to correct
myself. It's all about preserving
I
food.
had to correct myself. He'll be listening to this episode.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is, they've got two very different ways of going about things. And playing that in a very vague sort of concept as alignment is always kind of leaves things a bit, how do I react to this? Whereas with the edicts and anathemas, you've got a very clear, defined, okay, Ragathiel wants you to punish evildoers.
Yeah.
End of.
And I think that's the better way of handling it, right? Because let's be honest, right? Your alignment only really comes into it if you have a deity. It's the only time it really becomes an issue, right? Is if there's a deity involved. Because if I'm playing a bounty hunter, no one gives a shit whether I'm chaotic good or lawful good or just true neutral or whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. And as long as I'm not evil, right? But my actions are going to determine that. I'm not having to act a certain way to still be in favor with my deity. I can act whatever is best for my character in that situation, right? And it's only really, and it should be things like clerics and paladins who are stuck to, this is what my deity wants, so I need to behave that way, because that's their source of power. It's also what they've devoted their life to. So it kind of works in that element, because it becomes part of the character. Is my deity wants this, so I have to stick to that no matter what I want, because that should be what I want.
Yeah, and there are a lot of the discussions that alignment kind of foments is how to make it better, how to make it, work better, how to make it more appropriate. Because alignment came about in the early days of sort of D&D, when roleplay aspects weren't as heavy.
Yeah.
So now that, we've got entire worlds and universes that are being created on the daily by many, many GMs across the world, having something as sort of predefined and pigeonholed as alignment doesn't quite fit the bill. And what Paizo have done, instead of going, okay, how do we improve this? They've gone,
just
get rid of it. It doesn't serve a purpose anymore. And I completely agree.
It kind of it works on that age-old saying of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it is broke, chuck it out and get a new one.
Yeah, essentially. And there are mechanics that are going to be tied to it that will be changed. And one of the things that they talked about on the stream were things that do, for example, like spells that work against a particular alignment. Like detect evil.
Yes.
When they kind of said, okay, fair enough, but rather than detect evil, what about if we made it a bit more specific to detect a certain type of evil? So
Yeah.
what about detect unholy?
Well, exactly, because I mean that's the thing as well, right? Is even the whole detect evil thing. Your view of what is evil in the world will differ from someone else, right? Especially in in this kind of setting, right, where you can have 15 different deities who are all good in air quotes, right? But their views are diametrically opposed to each other. So like one could be like you mentioned earlier, right? That lawful good deity of vengeance. But you can also have a lawful good deity who thinks that vengeance is a horrific thing and shouldn't be done. So to that deity who thinks vengeance is bad, that lawful good deity of vengeance will appear evil because they believe in vengeance.
I was just about to kind of touch on that as well. I'm the sort of person, and this is going to be no surprise to you, that whenever I watch a movie, I always, to some extent,
Agree with the bad guy.
agree with the bad guy, barring...
I'm the same.
Can I just say, barring World War II documentaries, all right?
Oh yeah, obviously.
But yeah, a lot of the times,
Obviously.
Thanos snaps his fingers and I kind of go, yep, that sounds about right to me.
Hey, it solved the problem.
It solved the
if we can
problem.
only feed half the population of the universe, get rid of the other half. Job done.
So, as a result of that, when I create a villain in my games, I make it so that their motives are at the very least, debatable.
Yeah.
I did one where it was in a city that was populated by a lot of adventurers passing through. So what this villain would do, he would put out fake bounties and fake quests that these heroes would then follow and go into a very dangerous area where they would then be killed. And he would come along and he would steal the items and then sell them for profit.
I mean,
yes,
it's just good business.
It is an evil act, let's be honest, but at the same time, his logic was,
Nobody forced them to go there.
Yeah, nobody forced these people to do this.
Yeah.
No. I just put out a rumour. So, yes, the party never fell for that one and killed him instantly.
Ah.
But that's the sort of... They're the sort of villains I create. I create villains where there is at least a discussion amongst the party where they kind of go, is it that bad, though?
Well, it's also the whole POV thing, right? Like if you look at Star Wars, because let's be okay, Star Wars as a universe is a universe most people are going to be familiar with.
Right, what's Star Wars?
The Emperor doesn't consider himself evil, right? He genuinely believes what he's doing is best for the universe, the galaxy as a whole. So to him, he's not evil, and the rebellion are the evil ones in his mind.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why I think alignment doesn't work, because it's all based on your point of view. So having a hard and fast, this is good, this is bad, just doesn't work, because it all comes down to point of view.
Yeah, that's it. And it is a sliding scale. And to kind of have characters fall into one of those 9 sort of blocks, it just doesn't do them justice.
No.
And then we get onto the more problematic topics of entire ancestries being considered evil.
Yes.
Which, they're both Pathfinder and D&D have addressed to some really weird outroar, may I kind of add. If you're the sort of person that gets fucked off by, not all orcs being evil, fucking take a look at your priorities. Just saying. Yeah. But anyway, beside the point. So that is something that has already kind of been dealt with and abolished. So, there is no real reason for it anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't really pose any benefit to existing still.
No.
So yeah, I mean, and most DMs that I've played with anyway don't even really use it.
I don't believe I've encountered players who use it.
Yeah.
And oh well, I'm chaotic good. This is what I'll do, sort of thing. And don't be that player.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. That's a shitty way of playing a game.
Because I mean, yeah, I've had it where we were playing like an evil campaign, and some of the players took evil to mean a completely different thing to what me and a couple of the other players took it to mean. It's like half the party were taking evil as you're just out for yourself, right? Fuck the world, fuck everyone else, fuck that guy next to you. As long as I come out better, I'm happy, right? Which to me, that's quite an evil way of looking at the world. Quite selfish. But they took it as they're just going to murder anything and everything in front of them, some of the other players. Which, yes, is evil, but also not really the same thing.
But I mean, that argument kind of also applies to
goes to
good.
Yeah, exactly.
We had something in our game where I had a crime lord who was running his operation out of a building on the docks.
Yeah.
So the party needed to speak to him. So they initially tried to infiltrate stealthily. Didn't quite work due to some unfortunate rolls.
Yeah.
And it kind of all kicked off, and there was this big sort of combat. When it got to the resolution, and they were actually speaking to this dude, my answer to them was, why didn't you knock on the fucking door first?
Yeah.
I also made a point of him having not anything illegal in this docks because he's a smart man. So it's like, I'm not... Take a look. Go, do... Fucking investigate the place. There's nothing illegal going on here. Yeah. I'm going to call the town guard. So it was like, what part of that does that then go from being a good act to then being
to an evil
act?
And it's exactly that. I mean, it's like if you look at most like crime bosses in general, right? Both in fiction and in the real world, right? They all have some kind of good, honest business that they use, right? Because they need a way to launder their ill-gotten gains. So to the outside eye, they appear to be a very good person, right? They all do. That's the whole point of this world they build around themselves. They give to charity, they do this for the local community, they help these people, but behind closed doors is where they do their shady shit.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like, to the outside world, they're going to seem like a really nice guy and they're a really good guy. And
yeah.
That's my opinion on alignment.
Yeah,
it should have been abolished a long time ago.
Completely agree. I think alignment is an absolute, and
only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Yeah, exactly. And in something like a video game, absolutes work.
Yes.
But in something which is very much down to each individual person, absolutes
it doesn't.
Don't have a place. Which celebrity would you most want to play a tabletop RPG with, and what type of character do you think they'd play?
Okay, so my answer for this is really easy. For the first half, the second half, I'm not sure. But I would absolutely love to play any kind of tabletop game with Henry Cavill. I think that would just be amazing. He seems like a genuinely decent, fun individual anyway. We all know he's got a nerdy side. We all know this. And I just think it would be a really cool experience. So that would be my choice. I know there are a lot of celebrities who do play D&D, like openly. Like you've got, Joe Manganiello, all that lot that play and have all their stuff. But Henry Cavill would be my choice for that. I have no idea what he would play though.
What would
I feel like he would play some kind of caster.
Interesting, yeah.
That's just my feeling on it, because obviously he in all of his, like, in his films, he was always playing the big tough guy.
Yeah.
So I think he would want to maybe get away from that when he was role playing, and he would want to play something like a bit squishier. But so I think he would go caster just to have that offset, you know.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, yeah, Henry Cavill is a good choice. I mean, we know he's played a paladin-esque sort of character in the form of Superman.
Yeah. Obviously, The Witcher.
The Witcher,
as well.
which is probably more, obviously a fighter with some sort of magical influence. That'd be easy to build in second edition.
It'd be very easy to build in 5e as well.
So I was thinking, and I think we can go back and forth on this, because I kind of wanted to stay away from the known role players.
Yeah.
For me that was too easy of an answer. Like your Joe Manganiellos, Vin Diesels, Big Show.
Yeah, exactly.
Tom Morello, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah, Joe Manganiello put a picture up of his table, his 9 fucking players.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn was there.
Yeah, dude, like, have you seen his table, though? That custom table he had made?
Is that the new one from Wormwood?
Yeah.
It looks nice. Looks nice.
Beautiful.
Very nice
Beautiful
table.
tables.
So I kind of wanted to stray away from that, because I feel like, those are the given answers.
The obvious, yeah.
One person I thought of that would be fucking epic to have at the table, Gary Oldman.
Oh, yes.
And he would play
Yes.
whatever the fuck he wanted to.
At once. He'd play everything at once.
We talk
Yeah,
about
that would be a
power
good
games.
one.
What about a power role player?
Dude, that would actually be pretty cool, I think. Yeah.
I think I'd like to see him in a role that was quite not necessarily evil, but not squeaky clean. Something with a bit of gravitas.
A bit of that kind of moral ambiguity, shall we
Maybe
say.
a rogue then.
Yeah. Or even like just like an Oathbreaker Paladin would be pretty good.
That would be good. I think he'd definitely bring that.
Yeah.
Gary.
If you're listening,
Gary,
give us a call.
give us a call. I mean, you can come join us anytime. I'll GM.
I think the one other person that I would love to get on a table with, just to settle it once and for all, I would have to play a game with William. I would have to, just so we can settle it once and for all which one of us rolls worse, right? Because anybody who's seen me play knows I roll worse, right? But I know that everybody in the world of the internet and the rest of the world thinks that I'm exaggerating.
Well, what I would do, I would GM that game. And I would also, give you carte blanche on any fucking power build that you wanted to, because I wouldn't feel threatened at all.
Well, I mean that's also part of the reason that I don't mind power gaming, because the way I roll doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, I mean, I was almost going to cut you off at one point when you were talking about your power build, kind of going, yeah, it's still you rolling though.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, I think that's part of the reason that my DM has allowed it, because he knows that, yes, it might be very strong, but I still have to not roll ones.
Yeah, so, Will, if you're listening, please forgive any things I may have said in previous episodes about you. Come and join the table, and let's settle this once and for all.
So, actually, let's take that question one step further, right? So we've both given like a person that we would love to play with. How about?
Sorry, can I just add one more?
Yes.
One more.
I was just gonna say, why don't we both put together like a table of 4 people?
Okay, all right.
Right. So I've given 2, so you've got 3 to go.
Okay, so my second one is going to be the bard of the party, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I like it.
Yeah, just one. Yeah, he would smash being a bard.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one. I think I would really, really enjoy having someone like Adam Sandler at the table, and I think he would probably play something like a bard as well. So he would kind of be the bard of my table, I think. Just because of like that quick fire wit that he would bring to that character as well. Like his vicious mockery would actually be vicious mockery. You know what I mean? Like, so I think, I would love to have Adam Sandler at the table as well.
All right. Okay, so I've got my rogue, I've got my bard. All right. Should we do 5? Should we do like a proper
let's go 5.
party? Yeah.
Yeah, let's go 5.
I've got a rogue, I've got a bard. Because I think rogue for Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
I think it just fits. I'm gonna go cleric, and I think there's only one answer for someone who is gonna play a pious man, and that's gonna be Morgan Freeman.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, dude played God twice, so.
Yeah. He could be his own deity.
Exactly.
No, that is good. Right. So I've got one that I think. Actually, I'm going to give my final 2 in this one because they kind of come as a pair at the moment. And I just think it would be amazing to have them there at the table. I would want Kevin Hart and The Rock.
Yeah. as soon as you said came in a pair, it was like, yeah, he's going Jumanji.
Yeah, just because, again, I think they would be hilarious on whatever character they decided to play, right? And I think that would kind of round out my table. So my table would be Henry Cavill, Will Wheaton, just so we can settle it once and for all. And then, Adam Sandler, Kevin Hart, The Rock. That's my table.
That's a good table. So what would Kevin Hart and The Rock play? Because you did say
so caster for Henry Cavill, so that he'd be kind of like he'd be some kind of wizard or something like that. Bard for Sandler. I feel like Will could kind of just fill whatever role was missing because he is a sort of very well-rounded player when it comes to that element. So I think he would just kind of fill that role of whatever the other 2 don't pick up, he'll play. I feel like I could see Kevin and Dwayne doing what they do, kind of like what happened in the Jumanji film, where they're playing like the opposite of themselves, if that makes sense. So like Kevin would be playing like the big butch character, like a paladin or something like that. And then Dwayne would play something really sort of like a rogue. Like he would be the rogue, I think.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like it. So that leaves me with 2, doesn't it? So, and it leaves me with 2 party roles, because obviously I need a frontliner.
Yes.
Frontliner fighter, and I obviously need some sort of caster, maybe wizard or sorcerer.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Yeah, this isn't going to be easy. But I feel that a fighter, like a frontliner, maybe even a paladin.
Yeah.
Gotta go Sigourney Weaver, man.
Okay.
I just think she's gonna bring that sort of level of Ripley-ness to the role that it's like, all right, I can see her as a fighter.
I get that, yeah.
And then bringing up the last sort of position as either a wizard or a sorcerer.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to think. Ooh, this is a tough one. I think Ryan Reynolds as a wizard.
Really? You wouldn't have Ryan Reynolds as a bard?
No, fuck it. Ryan Reynolds as a wizard.
Really?
Yeah, as a I know everything more than you. 100%.
Oh, one of those kind of wizards. Right. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
And plus, Lin-Manuel is my bard.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's fair. But yeah, so I think that kind of that is 2 really, really good tables that I would enjoy playing.
That would be
completely honest.
That would be a ton of fucking fun. And not only that, I think we have answered that question in spades.